Hi, I'm Susan Saylor, and today I'm interviewing Jonah Petrelli. So, Jonah, how did you find out about Pathwork?
Um, well, my mom and her boyfriend, then boyfriend, but now husband were involved in it, and they've been involved for 10, 12 years, something like that. And so that's how I was introduced, just through them working it and going through the whole, transformation program and teacher training. So um they kind of introduced it to me, and then I started kind of weaving my way into the first Wednesday meetings and kind of just getting a little bit of interest in it throughout the years
So, how many years are we talking about?
that I have been involved.
Yeah, uh-huh.
um Let me, probably 6, 7 years, something like that. But starting from just kind of getting a little interest in it and then going to workshops here and there. But now I feel like I'm pretty heavily involved, being in the transformational program.
Well, what would you say drew you to the program?
Hmm. Well, I guess at the time it was introduced to me, I was involved in 12-step program, and just the whole idea of working on myself, having a better understanding of what is going on with myself, just kind of had like some inklings toward like growth oriented practices. And my mother, she can be pretty, I don't know, influential on my life. So, and I started to learn when people suggest things, that maybe are older or wiser or more in tune with, I don't know, aspects that you might be a little bit less inclined to approach previously. I would just say, hey, they might have something to offer me and I'm going to check it out.
That sounds so sensible. It really does.
Yeah.
Um, so Pathwork involves self-growth. How would you say Pathwork has changed how you live your life?
Hmm. Well, that's an interesting question. And it's like, um, I try to take this into my life on a daily basis and then an hourly basis and a minute basis and second by second. And so it's really, um, it has changed this changed really the way I think about things in a great, great manner. And it's really taught me to pull back into myself as opposed to, always looking outside for why I am allowed to be negative or why this or why that. It always pulls me back into um, myself, which is really, I don't know, it's been a great, great tool for me to, live life on a daily basis, focused on how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking and what I'm doing.
So, what has been challenging about Pathwork for you as you've learned to draw into yourself
Oh, yeah. Well,
about your negativities?
just the challenge of, I mean, there's a reason why I didn't, and I think there's a reason why we don't as people. And we search outside ourselves because there's just a great, I have all these defenses in place for a reason. I have all these, distortions in place for a reason. It's really painful to be a person, and it's really painful to own all of that and to see things in yourself that you never thought that you would, that would be acceptable or that would be lovable or that would be, it's just a great survival mechanism to distract and to distort and to escape. So going into that, is a great, great challenge. And then also being in sort of a middle ground where you start to understand concepts And then me, I like to, you get a little understanding of something and then you project it onto everyone else. Like, oh, everyone else, if they had got this, then we could be in harmony together. But it's just really going into some really, really painful, traumatizing experiences within my own self is the main challenge of that feeling, you know?
Well, a lot of people would say upon hearing traumatizing experiences, ooh, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So how, what gives you the courage to keep on heading into those traumas?
Just kind of knowing that there's more to life than to be constantly battling against it, you know, because I do believe that, you know, the trauma is real and the feelings are real. And to not deal with them is to not live in reality. So a lot more pain comes my way when I'm not living in reality than if I were to face the reality of I'm in pain. It's far less painful than to reject the reality of I'm in pain, you know? So it's kind of just through a lot of experiences like that, feeling like, wow, I'm really stuck and I'm really, really going nowhere when I reject what is real. And sometimes pain is real, you know?
Yeah. And learning to differentiate between real pain and pain that grows out of our misconceptions.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Yes.
that's tricky. Overall, what would you say the biggest change you've made in your life because of path work?
Hmm. I would say my relationships with people, um, you know, when I tend to be settled within myself, and less reactionary, um, less defensive, I tend to get on with people who are close to me a lot better. And and huge, huge changes in when I stopped projecting all of these issues outside of myself and trying to solve them outside of myself. um, all of a sudden, when I solve them inside myself, they kind of stop showing up. You know, they stop having that magnetism towards whatever it could be, whatever my unresolved issue is. It always seems to manifest and manifest and manifest until um, I look at it within myself and I feel what I need to feel. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't, there's no charge involved anymore. It doesn't draw me into, you know, so that change. And then when I do see things out, like right now I'm involved in a lot of doing and a lot of doing and a lot of doing, and then I'm trying to look in myself, say, what is what is attracting you to that, you know? So
To the,
kind of,
to the continual doing?
yes, or whatever it could be, you know. Instead of looking at things, you know, instead of feelings coming from outside and then they're done upon me, I think what feeling that I'm unwilling to feel inside is is constructing all of this outside of myself, you know.
Yeah, I
Great,
do.
it's a great change to start living inside yourself instead of outside.
Well, it sounds like you have made really enormous strides in how you relate to yourself, how you relate to others. Is there anything you'd like to add that we haven't touched on yet?
Hmm, I don't know. I feel emotional. I just kind of felt like this sense of gratitude for this process, and a sense of gratitude for having the courage to do this interview and to say how I feel, and to not so much kind of surrender to um, what's real for me, you know, and kind of not give too much energy into what will people think of this, what will they say about me, all those little chattering of the scared self. So when I do see myself in this process, it's sort of like the energy that you get from it is the energy that keeps you moving in it, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah, that is really well put. Well, it has been a pleasure talking with you, Jonah.
Thank you, Susan. It's been really nice. This is very pleasant.
I'm glad. Well, bye bye.
Thank you.